Give up, Dolittle. You can't outsmart...
Oh, what was that? Oh, wait. Now it's over there. And now it's over here. Now it's back over there. Got it. And now it's over here. Oh, lost it.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the 5,000 Figures of Dr. T, Pippi Longstocking. That is the cinematic wheelhouse that the filmmakers behind Dolittle, starring Robert Downey Jr., that's what they were kind of going for with this film. It came out, I think, at the end of last year or early this year. Who can tell anymore? Time has no meaning anymore. But Universal sent me the Blu-ray to review, and yes, I know all about the, it didn't do very well in the theaters, and the Rotten Tomato scores and the Metacritic scores are all quite low, and you can remind me about that down below as you're watching this review. I didn't really care about any of that. I looked at this with fresh eyes. I also watched this with my daughter. I thought it was important to see this, absolute kids movie with an actual kid, and kind of try to see the movie through, the prism of what I remember seeing movies like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was like, and also to see it with my kid who has no idea of the story or the Dr. Dolittle original or any of the baggage that comes along with this, including... She at one point said, that man looks a lot like Tony Stark. So she doesn't have all of the preconceptions and the expectations that would sort of manifest with a Robert Downey Jr. movie, which I thought was great. And I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's a terrific actor. I think he's a fearless actor, and he attempts to do things with his performances that a lot of other actors, I think, would have a lot of trouble with. In some ways, he can veer into Johnny Depp territory, and this movie felt a little bit like a Johnny Depp type movie. It's certainly a lot more eccentric and colorful than you would expect, maybe attached to Robert Downey Jr., but I think he was really trying. I know this because I watched the behind-the-scenes featurettes, which were all really fun, and there's a great sequence in there where we get the Robert Downey Jr., this veteran that everybody looks on with so much respect, and he's got so much esteem, and he befriends the young actor in this movie, Henry Collette, who plays the young boy who befriends Dr. Dolittle, and he's constantly giving him advice, and he really kind of conveys that he wanted to build a kids movie like he remembered kids movies from back in the day, and I respect that greatly. I think that's awesome. And the Dr. Dolittle story about a doctor who can communicate with animals, I think, is a timeless one. This one is set in, sort of Victorian England. We've got some steam ships and things like that, but the technology is certainly from a different time. There's like machinery inside of Dr. Dolittle's house that will feed animals, which reminded me a lot of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. They take horse and carriages to get everywhere. So it's, a nice period kind of place, but not with the same kind of drabness that we normally associate with period pictures. There's a lot of flash and a lot of color and a lot of CG effects. All of the animals are created in the computer, and you could absolutely tell that. There's some really big performers voicing these different animals. We've got Emma Thompson in there playing a very helpful parrot. We've got Tom Holland playing a very helpful dog. Rami Malek is this big ape who has confidence issues, and he's got some funny lines. John Cena is in there. Kumail Nanjiani is in there. He's terrific in this movie. And I think the standout of the animals that I saw, though, was Ralph Fiennes as this tiger named Barry, which is also the best visual effects that I saw in the film as well. Love that. But there's some really nice human performances in here. There's a total mustache-twirling bad guy portrayed by Michael Sheen, who's definitely eating up the scenery and having a good time. Jim Broadbent is good in this as well. And Henry Collette, the young boy, is actually quite solid. He becomes empathetic to the stories and the relationships that Dr. Dolittle has with the animals. And we also get a sense of the backstory of Dr. Dolittle and some of this tragedy that he has gone through, which I think added a little more weight to the storytelling. Certainly there are flaws with the film. It does veer into toilet humor, scatological territory, some cheap laughs. And not all of the laughs land, but I definitely dug the Welsh accent that Robert Downey Jr. adopted.
Forceps, please.
Here you go.
That's a piece of celery.
Right away, he's got this eccentric kookiness that I dug. His hair's all over the place. He's wearing crazy costumes. He's definitely hamming it up, but I don't know. For me, that worked. I was taken in, and I liked it, and I was constantly smiling, and there was definitely some good lines between Dr. Dolittle and the animals, for sure.
You win this round.
You're probably not going to ever forget that you're looking at CG creations. And I think if you have actors of this caliber, especially coming off of the Avengers, you would expect world-class computer-generated effects, and unfortunately, that's not here. That's not what we're seeing here. Still, people put together a fun kids movie, and it does have its quirky characters. I liked Antonio Banderas as this leader of this pirate island. I thought he was terrific as well. I dug it, but I know that I dug it more because I could see the delight in my daughter's eyes. And in fact, I didn't want to just review this and give you my thoughts and my score. I wanted to hear from her. Here's what Ruby had to say. Hey, Rue, what'd you think of Dolittle?
It's really good. In my opinion, it's kind of like Dora and the Lost City of Gold, but not really. The animals can talk. That's cool. Dolittle can speak to them. It's basically their adventure about saving the queen because she's sick.
What did you think of the animals?
They were interesting looking, and I love that the polar bear's wearing a hat.
Did you have a favorite of the animals?
Yeah, I like the parrot, and the dog's super cute with glasses on.
What did you think of Dr. Dolittle himself? Did you like him?
Yeah, but he looked a little weird when he had the giant beard on.
What was your favorite moment in the movie, do you think?
When the mice were playing chess.
Do you think that this is a movie that other kids should see?
Yeah, definitely. Not for everybody. I don't think everybody would like it, but for a lot of kids, yeah, they would totally like it.
What would you give Dolittle?
I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay, thanks for that, Ruby. Now you get a chance to see what she thought of this. For me, it was definitely not the best movie I've seen. It's not the best kids movie I've seen. It's not the best thing I've seen Robert Downey Jr. in, but I was still charmed, and I don't think that this movie comes anywhere close to deserving some of the hate that it has been receiving. I think if you've got young ones in your family, or if you are looking for a nice period escape with some talking animals, you could do a lot worse than Dolittle. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.